Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Claire Callister and I'm an Enterprise Advisor for the Enterprise team, and this is Kate Campbell, and she'll introduce herself in a minute, but we're here today to talk to you as midwifery and nursing students around enterprise and to kind of inspire you and give you ideas around different kind of career opportunities alongside your midwifery course. And I'll also talk to you around ways that we can support you with this. So Kate's going to talk to you about her journey from a midwife to an entrepreneur, and then we're going to do a short Q&A, and then I'll talk to you around the things that you can access as a student of Hallam. So I'm going to pass over to Kate.
Hi everybody, so I hope you're all right and I hope you really enjoy what we're going to talk about today. So yes, my journey from midwife to gym owner and now an online trainer. So I'm going to share my screen with you, so do bear with me as I just double check that I get the right one for you. Here we go. So are you sitting comfortably? So I am Kate Campbell. And this is my timeline. So if we have a little look at who I am and where my passion came from for midwifery, I was age 11 and I decided, after watching a Miriam Stoppard Sunday documentary about antenatal labour and birth, that was what I was going to be. And so I put all my efforts into that and succeeded at becoming a midwife. So I left Liverpool and came to Sheffield, and I became a midwife, trained at Northern General and then moved to the Jessup wing. And so I became a midwife in 1994. I came here to Sheffield. So absolutely passionate about my job as a midwife, very much to do with the one-to-one support. And as we all know, midwives, it means with women. And so that also incorporates their family. So I will take you on this journey now of why I decided to come to exercise to music. Now, when I was pregnant with my first child, there was only yoga and aquanatal available, and I was a little bit of a gym bunny. And so after I had my second child, and I did yoga, which was helpful, there was nothing out there, and I decided that I was going to train to be a fitness instructor, purely to train my antenatal and postnatal clients, and that's what I did. So very quickly I built up a reputation, and my business is called Keep Mums Fit, and I absolutely adored it, and I was still continuing to be a midwife. At the same time, I was a community midwife for nearly 10 years, so a lot of my clients did come through and come to my classes and found benefits. And number one thing with Keep Mums Fit is about the friendship element of it, and that people start to say who you are. So I built that reputation of not only being a midwife, but also somebody to go to if they were wanting to keep fit and healthy in pregnancy and beyond. So obviously I qualified in all the qualifications, and then I suppose I got a little bit, what do I do? Do I kind of go into a midwifery manager? But actually I'm a people person. I'm a one-to-one person. I like to support people in a way of hands-on approach. So I decided not to do that, and I decided to train as a personal trainer. So then the personal trainer element, I only ever thought it'd be antenatal and postnatal women, and I decided to take a little bit of a risk, really. I qualified, and sadly at the same time in 2012 my mum was very, very poorly, and it almost feels as if something happens in your life that makes you reassess it and change direction. And my mum had died, bless her, and my dad was moving to Sheffield to live with us and my girls. And at the same time, a small tiny little studio came up where I live in Lodgemore, and I decided to go for it and open the studio still as a midwife, and that was amazing. So as I thought I would be antenatal and postnatal, and what I actually got was a variety of people that needed support, both physically, mentally, work related in fact, and rehabilitation, and of course my antenatal and postnatal. So that was I was there for 6 years, and in that time, in 2015-16, I decided that I preferred it to midwifery. The one-to-one care was there, and I could still do it. And so that's what I did. So I made the massive decision to leave midwifery and go on a journey, and that's where I will continue my journey. So 6 years I was training in my little studio, and then opportunity came knocking yet again. Am I a risk taker? We were talking about this earlier with Claire. Am I a risk taker? I'm a risk taker only if I believe passionately of what I will do will succeed. I'm not going to be a risk taker that would lose her house or any of those. And when you look at business and entrepreneurial skills, you've got to be very confident that what you have is going to support and help others. And so, yeah, the story goes, I walked into a gym that was local to buy a treadmill, and I walked out a gym owner. So very quickly, no business plan. Was that a failure on my part? Probably, yes. And, you know, Claire will tell you about actually structuring a business. But I knew in my heart that this was my chance to move on and be able to help a variety of people in a different setting, and to still continue the work that I love passionately, which is keep mums fit and looking after my antenatal and postnatal mums. And so we come to COVID. So I opened the gym in 2018, November 2018, had an absolute cracking year, staff, classes, brilliant, exhausted, very time consuming, but very passionate. And then, of course, COVID hits in this time last year, more or less, and my whole business was closed down, and I had to then change on to going on to an online coach. And so we will talk about that briefly a little bit later on when Claire asked me a question about it. But yes, my whole business now has transferred online, and I would like to call it the hybrid way of working now. So being able to change quickly and still be able to serve your clients is such an amazing job. And so I will keep that when my gym opens. So we'll just move on, and you know, if you have any questions afterwards, you can always ask me. And so now I have a look at,
could you just make your slides bigger, like full screen? Is that all right?
oh yeah, how do we do that?
If you go to slideshow on the top line, just go down a bit onto the, and then along to the right. Right, so slideshow, just go along to the,
oh yes, sorry, yeah.
And then go from current slide.
Play where, sorry, what?
The second one in from current slide, yeah, that one's, yeah.
Oh yes, that's it,
Yeah,
brilliant. There's always one thing, isn't there?
yeah.
Okay, and so this is now what we've done from the gym. This is my beautiful little gym with a personal training client, and then what we've got then is now the courses and the online postnatal foundation courses that I do. So why do I do what I do, and the reason that I changed? I get asked this question an awful lot. You know, midwifery was my passion from the age of 11, and I was still very, very passionate about it. And in fact, personal training now is still very much with that one-to-one person, and being part of their reasons for their change, and love it. I love supporting people. So I also like being my own boss. So you know, it happens. It would be very difficult now probably to go back and have somebody else be my boss. I love supporting others. You get with one-to-one, you get that support and personal connection, and I think that's what we do really well as midwives. We help, we reassure our clients. You know, if you're a community midwife and you work in community, you know about that family, and if you stay in that same area, you get to see them again, so you really get that personal connection. And being in the gym and working with my clients as I do, I go back very much to my midwifery roots, which is, you know, as we know in when we're looking through the guidelines of being a midwife, you know, it's about not doing any harm, and it's about making sure that I support the people to the best of my ability. I love to give people knowledge and increase knowledge, and knowledge is power. And experience is essential. So you have to have the experience to be able to give that really good knowledge. I don't know everything, you know, I'm certainly not a textbook on lots of things, but I have had now the experience of working with my clients for a long time, and that's where they come back to me. And I like to call it the circle of life. You know, we cater now, because I'm a gym, for all kinds of clients. So you've got to sometimes look outside the box. Yes, my unique selling point is that I'm a midwife and I look after my antenatal and postnatal. But when I expanded, you have to be able to look and take all those other things and work with a variety of people. So catering for other people. And in if I look at a business sense, what I have is my antenatal clients that then become my postnatal clients, that then become my personal training clients, that then come to my class. So it comes round in a nice circle. If they trust me, if they enjoy what I do, then they will then expand and they will tell their friends about me. Quite often we then get relatives coming in. So we do cater for men and women and everybody. I like to give people that increased body confidence, and it's the same in midwifery. So when you're looking at maybe doing something else and adding on, look at how we can increase the body confidence to our women that are pregnant and changing shapes. And I like to, you know, the reason I do what I do is that gym and classes and one-to-one, it's variety. And if we add variety, it's pretty good. And then what we've got is holistic well-being, acceptance, and you've got to allow your clients to be, you know, accept and give them that confidence and that self-worth. With personal training, as with midwifery, you might get somebody coming in with an anxiety issue about something, and actually if you dig a little bit deeper and you listen, they're going to give you that information. And then we've, oh, that's me. And then we've got honesty, sustainability, and I can't see where I can move that out today. Okay, and honesty and nutrition. So we give all the nutrition strategies for our postnatal mums. It's important, and I don't think we talk about it enough, that we need to give them healing foods. We need to allow them to understand what healing foods are for their recovery as well. You know, that's what we're doing. Okay, so just to come on to, as midwifery students and nursing students, is that as professionals we have a duty of care to our clients, and that means we have to have our qualifications. You need to think, if you're doing a business outside the midwifery and nursing remit, then you've got to make sure that you've got the right insurance. Lots of people don't actually know, to do a session in a park, for example, you have to have the right insurance to train a mum with a baby in a buggy. It's not just about setting it up and going and doing exercise. You've got to get the right insurance, and also you've got to get permission actually from the council, and wherever you're going to be doing it, it's not good enough to just go and say you're going to set something up. You've got to make sure that you have all that in place. Screening forms, everybody needs screening forms. So screening forms is a way of getting as much information out of the people that you're going to work with as possible. Also a safety aspect of it, and making sure that you've covered all the terms and conditions of what you're going to provide and how you're going to deliver it. And never underestimate the need to refer to other health professionals and other people that can help and support. And when Claire and I talk a little bit later on about, you know, what are the risks or what are those things that we want to look at, or my advice, it is you almost certainly need to make sure that the support is there. And we don't want to do any harm to our clients, so referral to other health professionals if it's out of your comfort zone or your qualifications. You must be in business adaptable. You have to adapt to the situation, as hard as it might be and as difficult as it might be. Believe it or not, I was saying to Claire, I'm not a presenter. I struggle with my flashing eyelashes and all those things, and how I sound and how I look on camera. But because of COVID, it's really pushed me to come out of my comfort zone and do things I never would have done, which is being on a Zoom call or doing lots of live classes or learning to teach my clients and still give that good quality of care through a Zoom session, even if we're not in the gym. So you have to be able to adapt fairly quickly. This one's an interesting one. You know, you are a professional, you will be professionals, and sometimes we have our own biased opinions, and you know, we do think that, you know, we are the experts. And as I have quoted several times, you know, midwives are experts in normality. But also sometimes being an expert in something can make somebody feel quite underconfident. They may not feel listened to. So sometimes we have to take that, remove the expert hat and actually find out from our clients the basics. And one of the first things we do is listen more. And, you know, when you go into business, you've got to be motivational and passionate about what you do. You know, it's just so important that that comes across as authentic. You know, you can't be jumping around and then actually miserable, or, you know, particularly when it comes to social media, there's so many people that make the mistake of having this I'm a motivator and jumping around, and then actually on their own Facebook feeds they're miserable, they moan at everything and they whine. So what do your clients see? And that's, we've got to continue to be motivational. And number one, do no, you know, and number one, the last one here, but the most important, is do no harm. Always look at the reasons why you're doing something, and is that going to be the right way for that particular client? So those are the kind of the duty of care. So working for yourself, what could you do and what interests you? But number one, what interests you? You know, sitting down and going, oh, I could do this because it's going to make me loads of money, but hate every minute of it. You know, is that going to give you satisfaction? But if we look at what you could potentially do, and the things that I know my clients in the past have sought experts for, is parent craft educator. You know, I think we underestimate how that important it is to give women knowledge, but not just knowledge that means that they can smell, you know, that they have rose tinted glasses on, but as a midwife it's also nice, or a nurse, to be able to give that really great information. You know, it doesn't always go right, but what could we do? And we look at the positives, but we also have to give reality. And of course you can always be a pre and postnatal fitness coach, because, you know, since I started many years ago, you know, there was hardly any of us doing it. And if you still ask around now, there's probably going to be a lot of people that will name just a few of us who've been in the industry quite a while doing this specialist area. But now everybody seems to be an expert in antenatal and postnatal. And what changed is people stopped being afraid. And open, and social media gave people platforms. And if we then now just move on to massage, oh, everybody loves to be touched, and I think we're probably all missing that now in COVID. I know I definitely am. But massage and alternative therapies is something that is highly sought after for our women before, if they're having infertility problems. In you know, these are great ones. Also in pregnancy as well, and during labour. You know, many years ago, that's what we, you know, there are hospitals that still do that aromatherapy and massage in labour, which is just amazing. So therapies is certainly something to look into. Course creator, wow. I mean, I think I've totally been in awe of these amazing courses that are available now to people, and I would love to create one myself. So really think of something unique that somebody's not thought about, that actually you could create into a course. So these are quite good. Breastfeeding support, biggie at the moment. Does, you know, COVID's really had an effect, I think, on people seeing other mums. So breastfeeding support has been mentioned to me as something that people would be really highly interested in. Product development, I think the last group we had came up with a really great idea about breast pads, and also perineal pads. There's so many products that people, you know, I'm sure years ago when I was 13, which is many years ago, I'm sure I had the idea of putting wings on panty liners, you know, but of course someone beat me to it, and therefore I've not made my millions. But yes, so product development, sometimes the idea might seem silly, But if you get the support and you look at where businesses, you know, where the help is in business, then you could do that product development with a good strategy. And nutritionalists, not many people know about the importance of antenatal and postnatal nutrition. We've got good education on things, but actually that could be an area that is very important. So really have a little think. And we were talking, we probably won't go into too much information about this, but what problem can you solve? You know, what problem, you know, ask your friends, ask some of the women that you're working with, ask, you know, your team members, your staff members, your mentors, you know, what is it that people feel that they want? And have somebody got a problem that you can solve? And if we come back to, you know, midwifery and nursing, you know, can you solve a problem with a pain? So that could be massage. People are anxious and worried. Could you then create something, a relaxation course that's going to be helpful, or just you know, a recording of something that would be helpful? Knowledgeable and informative. People love to take in knowledge. They love to have you know, people's knowledge of it. So, you know, looking at what your ideal client wants is important. Lack of support, missing useful product, you know, people very much at the moment, isolation. Could you solve a problem by bringing a group of people together, you know, initially, and that's how you build your tribe up. And then it may not be paying at the moment, but it may be something that you're paying later on. And easy meal prep is another one that that women struggle with new babies. So with the business boot camp, I kind of put this down because I think it really it gives you an overview of the things that you would have to ask. And this is where Claire and the company come in to be able to help you with the startups. You know, start with your passion and your interest. You can't go into business without being passionate and wanting to know more about it and to help. What's missing? Poll, do your research. Do your develop a unique idea, ask others for support. You know, one of the mistakes that I will tell you about later is that I didn't ask for support very early on. I kept everything to myself. But find out where you know your competitors, ask them questions, look from remotely and see how they're getting on. How do they interact with their clients? You know, is there something that you really like from that? Is that something they might be able to help you with? This is really important as a NHS health professional, is that you've got to ensure that there is no conflict of interest. And, you know, when you are working for the NHS, you have to make sure that you are okay, that this is okay by your managers. You've got to be really open about it, because if they feel there is a conflict of interest, there will be a problem with that. So you have to make sure that, you know, what is important, your importance is making sure that you look after the clients that are in your care, and not just develop your business for your own personal gains. So you've got to be working in partnership with them. And what's your budget? That's one of my things. Budgets, hate figures, you know, but it is important. Resources you need. How will you build your tribe? If you want to start business, you've got to do it now. Your tribe is usually your family and friends to start with. You know, is this a good idea? Ask them, you know, will they be somebody that would like to, you know, have a treatment from you if you did this? Advertising and media as well is huge, absolutely. But you have to be visual. There's so many people out there. You've got to make it a journey of awareness and marketing and consideration. So your customer journey, they need to be aware of what they're going to get. You know, you can't be brilliant on social media, but actually then it's a bit poor on what you give and deliver. So yeah, that's consideration. So websites aren't important. We have landing pages these days, but it is something if you want to grow and deliver. And then what's your customer journey? Purchase to sales to retention, keep in touch, advocacy, and reviews. Reviews, I wish I'd had, well, I don't know, that cleverness to ask every single one of my clients, and there must be over 1,500 that I've trained, more and more probably. I just wish now I'd said, please can you say why it's been great to work with me, or what have you thought about the course, because I'd have so many now on my Google reviews, it would be wonderful, and that's something I have to make up for now. Okay. And then I think, Claire, you're going to go through that, aren't you? Kind of the products and services. But this is a big one for me, really, is how can I help you? And how can you help me? And I'm very much somebody who doesn't forget her roots of midwifery and the joy and the love that I had for supporting my clients, my colleagues, and particularly my students, and my when I was a mentor as well. And I suppose this is why I'm doing what I do now, to give you a little bit of insight. So, you know, there's so many people that would like to know a little bit more about the careful planning and structure and what we would do in a safe environment for our Keep Mums Fit pre and postnatal girls. So, you know, you feel free to, you know, get in contact and join in one of our online classes. Come and see, because we're all on Zoom now, we're not face to face, so it's really easy. You know, pick my brain. Somebody just, you know, had the confidence to contact me to ask for my advice before they started their personal training journey. And I said, absolutely, I've not got the time now, but I'll let you know. And it's helped him now move forward. And I'm always happy. There are also great downloads on the Kate Campbell Fitness website, which will be helpful for your clients, helpful for you, diastasis to pelvic floor, etc. on there. And then signpost and let other people know about Keep Mums Fit and how they can get in touch. And, you know, blog, you know, what I would say is blog, begin to build your tribe of followers and contribute to, you know, the Keep Mums Fit. Happy to publish valuable information, because you guys are the next generation of trainers. So here are my details that you can copy down, and then I think I'm going to head back to Claire. So I hope that was interesting. So do give me some feedback. I do like to talk and waffle a bit, but there's anything that you would like to know more about, please ask.
Okay, thank you. If you just want to unshare your screen.
Oh, yeah.
That was fabulous, really insightful, and I was inspired by your journey. And I think also it's just really kind of you to offer that students can get in touch with you to get your feedback, get your insights, and that what a generous offer. And if you're thinking, you know, if you're sitting here thinking about, you know, one day you might become self-employed, then take Kate up on this opportunity, because it is a really kind offer, and I think you'll find it really useful. So I'm just going to ask Kate a couple of questions, and before I talk about the enterprise offer. So Kate, I guess just want to talk a little bit about failure, because it's something that I've been thinking of recently, and around how failure really is really important for learning, and it's a really integral part of being an entrepreneur, because obviously it's a journey you have to go on. There's a lot of ups and downs. Oh, so what's something that you feel like you've failed at, and what did you learn from it?
Excuse me. So yes, you certainly have to fail on several levels to be able to find the way forward, to rectify, to understand some of the mistakes and to rectify them, and progress. And I think probably one of my biggest failures, as I have been in this industry a long time, is not asking for help early on. And why I feel I failed on that part is that I actually probably could have got some more of my information out to help clients a lot earlier on. So, you know, the years of experience, the failure that I would say was not asking for help early on. I think you've got to be careful with who you ask. And I think you've got to be able to ask, what other things? There's so many things that I would probably say I failed on. And if I think now to the gym, and when I started the gym, there was kind of a lot of failure on my part of actually what people wanted. I didn't actually really do any polls or ask. I just kind of went in with that a little bit of a, you know, that expert hat, this is what we need to do. And I kind of failed and fell flat on my face with some of the things that I offered. One being some of the classes, I felt like I was virgin and coming in, and too many classes and too many people working there, and didn't really look at that. And so I had to then change the model and say actually what's working. So you definitely need to have a little bit of understanding and fail, definitely.
No, I think that failure is an essential part, isn't it? And I think it's kind of being okay with failure, I think, is really key, isn't it?
Learning from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking about adaptability. Like, how have you? Because as a entrepreneurs only starting out, are you okay?
I know. Very healthy Diet Coke, but hey ho.
You have to be adaptable, don't you? And can you think of a time where you've had to be adaptable and it's paid off for you?
Yes, and we were told in March, weren't we, that we were going to close, and we didn't know how long, or gyms, we were going into lockdown, and I had no clue about Zoom. I had no clue how I was going to transfer my whole business with personal training clients, with gym members, with class members, with new clients coming in, with staff members, what on earth I was going to do. And so the first thing it was just, it was like this, wow. And the first thing I did was be honest with the people that were that my clients, and say, I need time off to figure this out. So I took 2 weeks off, and I said, and I was up till 4 o'clock most nights trying to transform my business online, because there was a payment system, a management system, everybody needed informing. And I'd love to say that I have a huge amount of staff working for me, from admin to whatever. I haven't. It's me. And financially, that was something so we did it. And literally within those 2 weeks, I turned my business into an online business, and has continued that ever since. We then came back to the gym, didn't we? So again, there was a massive change. We had to adjust what wasn't working initially in the gym, and make it safe for all our clients to feel like they could come back. That's what we did. And then of course we've locked down again, and we've had to then rechange things now. So now there's a few more things that I'm changing, but on demand.
It's impressive the amount of adapting you've had to do. That's great. And it's been successful. And I guess the last question from me is, what 3 top tips would you give to anyone who is thinking about being their own boss at some point in their career?
Okay, so number 1, passion. Find what you love, and and absolutely go for it. Try not to do too many things, just focus on one. Ask for help. You find the people that are willing to sit down and help you for free. It takes no time to sit there and chat. I might be a busy person, but one thing I do know is that if people are good at what they do, they are willing to give that experience to somebody else. So find somebody that will help you for free. You do not want to pay lots of money for somebody who's a guru who won't even give you half an hour. And my third one is build your tribe and build your tribe, build your following, understand them and know them. They are the ones that will, they will tell everybody how great you are. So find them, start with your family, then expand, ask the question, but build that tribe before you decide to move from one career to another or combine them. So 3 tips.
Brilliant, thanks Kate, that's great. I just find that your journey really impressive, and I hope all of you watching today also find some inspiration in that. I'm just going to spend the next couple of minutes talking around how the enterprise team can support you. So if you are inspired by Kate's journey and you want to at some point in your career think about being your own boss alongside being a midwife, then here's the ways that we can support you. So I'm just going to share my screen for a minute. Here we are. So slideshow. So this is the enterprise team. We support students and graduates, and now we give our lifelong offer. So no matter like when you graduate, when you want to come back to kind of get some support on becoming your own boss, we will help you. We used to be offer students, help students up to 5 years after you've graduated, and now it's a lifelong offer. So we give you free access to business support and our programs, and it doesn't matter where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, whether you've just got an idea or whether you're further down the line, we're happy to support you. So yeah, we help you develop your idea, and we've got workshops on business startup, marketing, social media, branding, and we can have one-to-one advice and mentoring. We've got a great collaborative co-working space called the Hallam iLab. We've got a pop-up shop that you can rent out for the whole day to kind of test out your ideas there on the public. And also we offer up to £500 worth of funding to help develop a business. We've got a great new website, which is shoeenterprise.co.uk, and you can find out loads more about all these things on there. So some of the workshops we offer: introduction to enterprise thinking, business planning, social media, PR marketing, crowdfunding. So it's all on there, and you can book through UniHub. And every month we run our startup workshop, which give you the kind of foundations of what you need to do when you set up a business. We've also got specialist advice. So if you want some support around intellectual property or accountancy, then we can ask some of our specialist advisors to come and speak to you on these topics. This is the Hallam iLab, so it's just behind the bus station, next to Ponds Forge. It's on level 6 of Aspect Court, but it's a great co-working space. So we have students and graduates all working here together, who are all got the same aim of being their own boss. Obviously it's closed now because of this current lockdown, but it'll soon be open again. And it's just a really vibrant place to work and to be around people who are on your journey as well, and people share ideas and help each other out, and it's a great space to be in. There's rentable office space, internet, Macs and PCs. This is where the workshops, when they are live, are run from here too, and there's some kitchen facilities. So yeah, it's just behind the bus station, a few minutes walk from Owen Building. This is a pop-up shop, so if you do have a product or a service and you want to kind of get it out there in the general public once it's open, then you can rent out this shop to kind of test out your idea. It can be for a market stall, exhibition, running workshops. It's you can use it for whatever you need to use it for. If you, so take action. So you're thinking, oh, this is something that sounds quite good to me. Book onto a workshop, book onto a one-to-one, go on our website. All the information about one-to-ones and workshops are there. You can just book directly through our website. And this is us on our contact details. So we're enterprise@shoe.ac.uk. There's the team. And I really look forward to hearing from you and discuss your business ideas further. I'm going to stop sharing. So I think we'll leave it there. Please do get in touch with us if you want to speak to me or Kate. And Kate, thanks again for taking the time today.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm going to stop recording. So bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.